Hello friends, welcome back once again to the Cantor's Corner. This week we read Parshat Vayishlach, and there's quite a bit that goes on in this parsha. First, after years of being apart and quite a bit of fear on Jacob's part that he'll be killed off by his brother Esau, especially when Jacob hears that Esau is coming with hundreds of troops, and well, Jacob doesn't have that, the two brothers do meet up and they make up. Jacob insists on giving his brother Esau a pretty substantial gift of quite a bit of livestock and other valuables. And even though Esau refuses, eventually Jacob gets his way and is able to give his brother the gift that he intended, and the two of them have a pretty amicable relationship from what we can see thereon. Jacob and his family continue on their journey, and in the middle of the night, Jacob is woken up by the presence of an ish, of a person, of a being. It's kind of a little bit hard to tell what exactly is going on. But Jacob and this being wrestle and rust and tussle, and finally the being says, all right, let me go, you've won. And Jacob says, no, I won't go until you give me a blessing. And that is when Jacob, Yaakov, gets his name changed to Yisrael, which is a root that means that he fought and wrestled and won. From there, we see another incident in which Dinah, the only sister of these 12 brothers from two different mothers, she gets a bit mistreated in the eyes of the brothers by members of Shechem, in particular Hamor. The brothers see her as being violated by members of Shechem, and because of that enact their revenge. In particular, Shimon and Levi, once all the members of Shechem are writhing on the ground in pain because, well, Hamor wants to marry Dinah, and so the requirement that is given by the brothers, notice Jacob doesn't have any part in this, and the brothers say, all right, we can let this happen, but you gotta circumcise yourselves. The guys do it because, well, Hamor definitely wants to be able to have Dinah as a wife. And so while all the men are writhing in pain on the third day after they have circumcised themselves, Shimon and Levi race through the camp and, as the text calls it, puts them to the sword, meaning so many people are killed off. Of course, Jacob's reaction is vermished. He's quite distraught at what Shimon and Levi have done, saying, you have brought trouble on me, making me odious among the inhabitants of the land. And I can't blame him for saying that, especially because of what Shimon and Levi had done, killing off so many people. The one thread that I see going through the entirety of this parsha is how to deal with conflict. The first bit of conflict that we see between Jacob and Esau is resolved peacefully through their words and through their actions. While the other two conflicts that we see, then the second conflict with Jacob and this being, which is often interpreted, thanks to a bit of Midrash, as an angel, that is a more physical conflict that is still resolved a bit more peacefully, in that it is a wrestle where no two sides are severely damaged in the end. Jacob walks out with a limp, sure, but still no one has died. And the third conflict that we see between the brothers, so to speak, and the members of Shechem, well, that one doesn't end so well. Jacob is annoyed, and yet I'm a little bit confused at this segment, because while Jacob is annoyed, Levi gets a bit of a reward to a degree, because it is his kids that go to take on the priesthood. So what can we learn from this? I think we can learn how to resolve our conflicts, and certainly we have our fair share of conflicts going on right now. I think we learn from this text that ideally we should resolve our conflicts peacefully, through mere exchange of words, and through make a pact between each other. However, we also see that sometimes it's necessary to take real action in order to resolve a conflict. In this case, with Jacob and the angel. However, I think we are cautioned not to go too far, not to go as far as to kill people. However, it's a little bit, like I mentioned, a little bit uncomfortable in that Levi gets rewarded for what I see as some pretty heinous acts. And so I think it is upon us to make sure that we really consider our actions thoroughly before we go and attempt to resolve the conflicts in which we are embattled. Yes, ideally we should use our words, but I think sometimes action is necessary. Ideally more peaceful action through protest and civil disobedience. But God willing, we don't have to resort to killing in order for our conflicts to be resolved. Let's go and let's do so that we can have a more peaceful future.